Blessings Booktube. I have another um, fractured fairy tale interpreted by Bullwinkd and Squirrel. And today's is a Russian folktale. Um, the version I'm reading is by Alexander Pushkin, who, of all the Russians that we read in the West, Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, when Russians are asked who is their sort of number one author and national author, they usually pick Pushkin, probably mostly for his poem, um, although he wrote a bunch of short stories, of which the most famous is Queen's Knave, but probably mostly for his very famous poem, Eugene Onegin, which I have just found out, like many things that I have been reading but not talking about for the last 20, 30 years, I've been mispronouncing all along. Anyway, here's one of his folk tale interpreted by him called About the Fisherman and the Goldfish. There once lived an old man and his good wife on the shore of the deep blue ocean. They lived in a tumble-down hovel for 33 summers and winters, and the old man used to fish for his living, and his wife spun yarn on her distaff. He once cast his net in the ocean and pulled it up with mud from the bottom. He again cast his net in the ocean, and this time caught nothing but seaweed. When he cast his net a third time, one fish was all that he landed. No common fish, though, but a goldfish. Now the goldfish implored him. It spoke like a real human. "Put me back, old man, into the ocean. I'll pay you a right royal ransom. I'll give you whatever you ask." The old man was astonished and frightened. He'd been fishing 33 summers, but had never heard of any talking fish. So he, with care, he untangled the goldfish and tenderly said so. As he did so, said, "God bless you, my dear little goldfish. Thank you kindly. I don't want your ransom. Go back to your home in the ocean and roam without hindrance." To his wife, the fisherman hastened to tell about the great marvel. "I caught only one fish this morning, a goldfish it was, most uncommon. It spoke like a Christian and begged me put it back into the ocean, and promised to pay me a rich ransom to give whatever I asked for. But how could I ask for a ransom? I released it without any payment." His wife scolding her husband, "Oh, you simpleton, oh, you great silly. Couldn't make a mere fish pay a ransom. You at least might have asked for a washtub, for ours is falling to pieces." So the old man returned to the seashore where the blue waves were frolicking lightly. He called out aloud for the goldfish. Up swam the goldfish, demanded, "What is it, old man, you're wanting?" With a bow, the old man said in answer, "Forgive me, Majesty Goldfish. My old woman has scolded me roundly. Won't leave me alone for a minute. She says she wants a new washtub, for ours is all falling to pieces." And the goldfish murmured in answer, "Do not worry, go home. God be with you. Very well, you shall have a new washtub." To his wife the old fisherman hastened, and behold, there it was, the new washtub. And she scolded him louder than ever. "Oh, you simpleton, oh, you great silly. To ask for a tub, a mere washtub. What good can you get from a washtub? Return to the goldfish, silly. Bow down low and ask for a cottage." So again he went to the seashore, and this time called the blue sea was troubled. He called out aloud for goldfish, and goldfish swam up and demanded, "What is it, old man, you are wanting?" With a bow, the old man said, "Forgive me, Majesty Goldfish. My old woman's angrier than ever. She won't leave me alone for a minute. The old scold says she wants a new cottage." Goldfish murmured in answer, "Do not worry, go home. God be with you. So be it, you'll have a new cottage." So back the old man turned his footsteps. Not a sign did he see of his hovel. In its place stood a new gabled cottage with a chimney of brick newly whitewashed. A fence with oak gates stood around it, and there sat his wife at a window. When she saw him, she scolded him roundly, "Oh, simpleton, oh, you great silly. To ask for no more than a cottage. Go and bow to the goldfish and tell it that I'm tired of being peasant. I want to be a fine lady." Old man returned to the seashore, where the ocean was restlessly foaming, called out aloud for the goldfish, and goldfish swam up and demanded, "What is it, old man, you are wanting?" With a bow, the old man said in answer, "Forgive me, Majesty Goldfish. My old woman is madder than ever. She gives me no rest for a second. She's tired of being a peasant and wants to be made a fine lady." The goldfish murmured in answer, "Do not worry, go home, God be with you. Very well, a fine lady she shall be." To his wife the old fisherman hastened, and what did he see? A tall mansion. On its white marble stairs his old woman. She was wearing a rich sable jacket, and headdress in gold and embroidered. Her neck was with heavy pearls heavy laden. She wore golden rings on her fingers. She was shod in the softest red leather. Zealous servants bowed meekly before her, as she cuffed them and rated them loudly. The old man then approached his wife, saying, "Greetings, your ladyship, greetings, fine lady. Now I hope that your soul is contented." She angrily bade him be silent, and sent him to serve in the stables. Oh no, poor old man, poor old fisherman. A week slowly passed, and another, and the old woman grew prouder than ever. One morning she sent for her husband and said, "Bow the goldfish and tell him I'm tired of being a lady and I want to be a tsaritsa." Her husband implored her in terror, saying, "Woman, you've surely gone crazy. You can't even talk like a lady. You'd be mocked all over the kingdom." His old woman grew madder than ever, slapped his face, and shouted in passion, "How dare you, mujik, stand and argue with me, a fine lady? Go at once. If you don't, then I warn you, you'll be dragged to the shore willy-nilly." The old man went to the seashore. The ocean was swollen and sullen. He called out aloud for the goldfish, and the goldfish swam up and demanded, "What is it, old man, you are wanting?" With a bow, the old man said in answer, "Forgive me, Majesty Goldfish. Again, my old woman's gone crazy. She's tired of being a lady. She wants to be made a tsaritsa." The goldfish murmured in answer, "Do not worry. Go home. God be with you." "Very well, she shall be a tsaritsa." To his wife the old fisherman hastened, and what did he see? A grand palace. In the palace he saw his old woman. At the table she sat, a tsaritsa, attended by nobles and boyards. They are pouring choice wines in her goblet. She was nibbling sweet gingerbread wafers. Around her grim guards stood in silence. With halberds upon their broad shoulders, the old man was aghast when he saw this. He bowed to her feet and said humbly, "Greetings, O mighty tsaritsa. Now I hope that your soul is contented." But she gave not a glance at her husband. She ordered him thrust from her presence. The boyards and nobles all hastened and drove him with blows from the chamber. The guards at the door waved their halberds and threatened to cut him to pieces. All the people derided him, saying, "Serves you right now, you ill-bred old fellow. You churl, this will teach you a lesson to keep to your station in future." First a few weeks passed, then another. The old woman grew prouder than ever. She sent for her husband one morning. Now, of course, in many folk tales, people end up winning a fortune. So maybe the wife is going to have her palace and eat it too. But this fact of treating her husband so poorly, one feels there's a comeuppance coming. What if I were to tell you that the version of this book we're reading is a Soviet children's book? Now, Soviets had a vexed relationship with their literary heritage and disapproved of a lot. But it's not surprising that they would like this tale. And why would they like it? Where here she's a tsaritsa telling her husband to keep to his station. Well, one guesses already that this is going to be some sort of cautionary tale against greed. Let's find out how it ends. Her chamberlain hailed him before her. The old woman spoke to her husband. "Go, bow to the goldfish, tell it, I'm tired of being tsaritsa. Of the seas I want to be mistress, with my home in the blue ocean waters. The goldfish I want for my servant, to do my commands and my errands." Now the old man durst not contradict her, nor open his lips to make answer. He sadly set out for the seashore. A tempest raged over the ocean. Its waters were swollen and angry. Its billows were boiling with fury. He called out aloud for the goldfish. The goldfish swam up and demanded, "What is it, old man, you are wanting?" With a bow, the old man said in answer, "Forgive me, your majesty, goldfish. What shall I do with my cursed old woman? She's tired of being tsaritsa. Of the sea she now wants to be mistress. With her home in the blue ocean waters, she wants you to be her own servant, to do her commands and her errands." Not a word spoke the goldfish in answer. It just swished its tail and in silence disappeared in the depths of the oceans. He waited in vain for an answer, and at last turned his steps to the palace. And behold, there again stood his hovel. On the doorstep sat his old woman, with the same broken washtub before her. Right, so we've often seen, if you've watched any of the series of these stories before, the Bullwinkd version take up a different approach or different angle, or sometimes like all the modern retellings we've been getting privileging of a more one of the more marginalized characters from the original tale, or even a complete reversal of roles. In this case, the fisherman's a bit of a simpleton. He never catches fish, but he's always singing and happy. And the wife is quite nice. She's not happy to be starving, but she just cares for her addled husband, wraps his head in wet cloths, and gives him various medicines and things of that nature. The fish is also interesting. The role of the fish in this tale. So the fish grants 3 wishes this time, and so there's still a wish-granting fish. But why he gives the 3 wishes is interesting. Again, the fisherman had released the fish, and this convinces his wife that he's more crazy than ever. And of course, the fish is grateful. But what the fish really likes is being put on land. So the wife doesn't believe him at first about the talking fish. So he gets the fish and puts him in his bed for some reason. And the wife thinks it's her husband in the bed. And then lo and behold, oh, it's the talking fish who has a cigar and a hat. And the fish talks to her and she's like, she's freaked out, of course. But of course now she believes. And she tells her husband to put him back in the sea. But the fish really loves this nice warm bed on land. Doesn't want to go back to the cold water. So he says, let me stay on land. So he gives them 3 wishes. Now they wish for a theater and thousands of tickets to sell to come see the talking fish. So with the theater and the tickets, they have 1 wish left. And just to sort of wrap things up in a little sort of nod to the original, it ends real quickly with, of course, a pun as usual, and also on Puss in Boots in this case, but also not a trick exactly, but the wife wants to use the last wish while they have it, and the fisherman and the fish say, no, better to save it for just in case, which is a very interesting element of fairy tale, source material, of which are many tales, which is not in the original of this tale, of whether or not to use something now or save it for later. But of course, it all ends in not, because the fish is advising the man, like, no, save the wish, don't use the wish, don't the wish. And the wife gets mad and says, won't you shut up? And so she uses her 3rd wish to get the fish to shut up, which is already funny. Wasted wish, right, is always a fun trope. But in this case, since their whole theater is built on their having this talking fish to show off, and that wasn't one of the wishes, they've lost their talking fish. Now they lose the theater and are chased out of town as charlatans and end up back in their hovel. I can't remember if there's a broken washing tub in this version. So there you go, another fun reimagining by Rocket Bullwinkle. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll have another one for you in a week or so.